Welcome to Mastering CS Candid Leader Insights, the podcast where we dive into the world of customer success with industry leaders. I'm your host, Irina Cismas, and today I'm joined by Pratiksha Tewari, Senior Customer Success Manager at Stars, a platform for building conversational AI agents. Pratisha, I'm really happy to have you here. Thanks for joining.
Thanks a lot, Reena. I was glad to be here and be a part of Customize these interview sessions.
Before we dive in, you've moved through field operations, Salesforce implementation, and now you are a senior CSM at Stars. Paint us a picture of your day to day there. Who are your customers and what does the work actually look like?
Oh, so to start off with before I give you an understanding of what my customers are, I'll tell you a little about the product so you can draw the comparison. The product at ours is an AI agent. So we sell these AI agent products to our customers. And the kind of customers who require these are from multiple industries like, say, healthcare, there in say telecom, there we are there in, so yeah, there are multiple industries, and at the same time there is a lot of different stakeholders as well who have to manage in these different industries, and some in some cases where it's fintech, I would probably be managing a lot of technical POCs, right? And if there is something like a healthcare, I would probably be in touch with a lot of marketing team. Industry to industry, client to client, a lot of stakeholders differ. And with that, what changes is the kind of communication that happens. In some places, if the use case that the customer is using the AI agent for is the support bot, right? A support journey. Say in a healthcare industry, what would matter is to reduce the workload of, say, the reception staff or the telesales users who get a lot of inquiries. So in that case, the complete work is around how to reduce the support tickets, versus when it becomes a marketing use case, it becomes around how do we increase, say, the leads being generated through the AI agent. So client to client, stakeholder to stakeholder, every day is very different. It completely depends upon the kind of work I'm doing for the client. So maybe we'll have to dig in a little more deeper
For sure.
into what
For,
happens. But
for
yeah,
sure
that's it.
we will. But let me know in this setup, what do you spend most of your time on? How does a day in your life, a day of a CSM look like in your case?
Mostly what I do spending my time is 50%, I would say, is strategizing, and
Uh-huh.
50% is following up on the strategies that's been built. So 50% of strategy building is planning before executing as to what needs to be done in this account, defining success metrics, that so that I'm not fighting for a renewal at the end of the quarter, of the end of the year. So setting the gold standards in the beginning, understanding how do we achieve that, look at the reporting, look at the numbers, usages, trends that the data speak, and yeah, so a lot of those tasks would be the 50% of strategizing, and then implement those actions and execute them, right? So you have to execute those actions. And for that, it's not that I can do everything. There are team members with who would be helping me out with a lot of those strategies, following up with them, following up with the clients a lot of the times to see if what we have been implementing for them is working out or not. So doing status check-ins with them. So yeah, I would say a lot of strategizing and a lot of following ups with, say, internal and external clients to keep that harmony going.
Let's tackle one of the important processes in customer success, and that is onboarding. How does good onboarding look like in your case? When a new client comes on, where do you actually start, and how do you know when you've got there?
All right. So I think onboarding, a good onboarding is set out with, first of all, understanding who's sitting on the other side, right? Who you're talking to, the client. So understand the client, there could be a lot of stakeholders, there could be some decision makers, there could be some showrunners. So the stakeholders would be deciding really that what needs to be done, if they're spending, say, X amount on this product at the end of the year or at the end of the quarter, if that is met or not. And then there are some showrunners who do the day-to-day tasks or the weekly tasks for them. So get a good sense of understanding who's responsible for what on the other end. So a good mapping of customers and the responsibilities. You don't want to be asking, say, integration documents from a marketing folk, right? So let them know beforehand that what are the list of things you would require in the project. And for that, who should you be reaching out to? Right. So if that's cleared out in the beginning, it really eases up the entire process. You're speaking to the right people, you're not wasting time, there's less noise. So clear out who would be the right POCs. And secondly, explain to them what the project stages look like and what the timelines would be and what are the current pain points that they're trying to solve, with which once solved, you can then start defining or measuring success once it's implemented. So if you don't really know the problem you're trying to solve for your customer, you won't really be able to get to the solution of it. So speak to them, have a very good discovery call in the initial periods, understand their current pain points, understand why they want you as a product. And once that's clear, then turn your role into a solution architect. You know your product best. Design the product based on your customer's requirement and then implement it. And once that's implemented, start tracking progress, how it's doing it, how it's performing, how it's delivering value or not value. So, yeah, before we go into delivering value, you have to know what is the problem you're trying to solve. So, get to the root of it, see how you can make your client's life easier with a very good discovery call, and then set project timelines and stages and try to stick to it as much as possible.
And once your customers are live, how do you measure whether things are going well? What does healthy look like beyond go live?
Okay, so yes, because there is so many different clients, industries, use cases, healthy or a particular goal that needs to be achieved varies. You know that for say if a use case is around say support, right, the AI agent is being used by the client to reduce their workload. In
Mhm.
that case, what matters is the metric that I need to look at is deflection rate. How many tickets are not being created for the telesales or support team, but the AI agent is taking care of that. But in the same way, if I look at another use case, what they really want is a lot of tickets because they want their users to be speaking to their live representation reps on the AI agent. So for someone, a deflection rate, which is how many chats the AI agent could handle itself rather than handing it off to a live person, is a measure of success for one use case. But for the other, it's the opposite. It wants a lot of support tickets to be created for them. So the same metric can be perceived in different ways in this product, but it varies for different industries. Now, what I usually do in such cases is I define there there should be two ways to go about it. One is say a quantity wise define what a healthy way is, and one qualitatively. So what I do to look at quantitatively is say we have a lot of conversations happening on the AI agents, right? A lot of it's a conversational AI agent. So when I want to look at the quantity of quantifiable success metrics, we break it out in three parts. One is say the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. So the top of the funnel is how many users are interacting with the AI agents, right? How many are really opening it, looking at it? Does it look interesting that it gets opened? And then there is a middle funnel where what we do is we look at how the engagement is going on, what the users are talking about with on the AI agent. So that gives us a good insight into the customers' mindsets for our clients, gives us a lot of insights that probably you didn't think your users wanted. Probably you are selling a balloon. What they want is party streamers, right? They don't want balloons. So that kind of insights come in when you look at the middle of the funnel, and then the bottom of the funnel is how many say leads were generated or how many support tickets were handled by the AI agent. And those are the metrics that you can look at and say, okay, this happened. But why did that happen is also important to look at. And that's when you move on to the qualitative analyzing of your data, where you go into the data dumps, what happened in each of those cases. So there is obviously dashboards that's available. You can look at high level numbers, but it's also important once in a while to get your hands dirty, go into the data dumps and see what's going on in each individual conversations happening on the AI agent. So yeah, I think how I define healthy varies from use case to use case. But when I am trying to define healthy, these are the two things I do. I break it down into a quantitative and a qualitative. objective that needs to be achieved for each of the clients.
What is the operational infrastructure behind all of this? What platforms are central to how customer success actually runs day to day at stars?
Okay. So mainly customer success is around good communication, right? If you are communicating well internally and externally, you are maintaining relations because that's what a CSM is supposed to do, maintain a good rapport. And for internal, we have Slack as a main channel. I love Slack. I love all the designs it has and the free way you can just speak to your stakeholders and your folks, internal team members, etc. And then we also have the the emailers, the video calls, etc., that we have with our clients. And apart from that, we have HubSpot as a
Mhm.
CRM that we use to maintain our. We maintain all the post call notes on HubSpot to keep a track of how the account's healthy, not healthy. We maintain the deals out there. We maintain project statuses on HubSpot, and we also track support tickets. So the HubSpot service is also what we use. So HubSpot is also integral. Apart from that, we have the AI note takers. That is our companion, really help with the post call notes and actions. And then what else is there?
Any product analytics that you are basically leveraging to understand how is the product usage? How do they basically use? How are your customers using your product? What
Yeah, so
features?
yeah.
do-
Yeah, so mainly for now, we are using like all of that is available on the task platform itself.
Okay.
So, yeah, the time goes, we get a good sense of the usages on the platform. We track that well out there. And yeah, I think, yeah, 50% of my time goes on the task platform. Why did I miss that? Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah,
Now,
task.
now I'm curious, what are the AI use cases that you are that you implement to basically help free up your time? How do you use AI? And in which conditions?
Oh, I think AI is my assistant, the most helpful assistant I've ever had. So, starting off with the note takers, of course, it's a big help. Then there is also a lot of, apart from the understanding, like drafting good emails and difficult emails, those are just basic use cases. The one that I really found helpful was using AI for research work. So, what we do is, say, we face this a lot when, say, renewals come up. We suddenly get these information from the clients that they're going through cost cutting
Mm.
or and that impacts us and makes us feel like we were not really prepared for this. So there is a lot of automation that you can do on the back end that keeps updating you, say on your Slack channel or on your emails. You can set up these automations that keep sending you monthly, weekly updates on what's happening on your clients' accounts on a general level. So if there has been budget cuts or if they have expanded into a new vertical. So these kind of information that an AI news summary for your particular clients coming to your inbox really helps you in also expanding your accounts, right? So if you know what's going on the other side, you could be really talking to one stakeholder from your client's account, but there could be actually a lot of other verticals where the same AI agent, your product could be used. So it's very good to have a AI as an assistant that does all the research for you, tells you that these are some untapped opportunities that you could really look at and speak to them about. And sometimes it's really helped us. We've gone to the clients and told them that, hey, you have been using the product for, say, A service, but we see that you have also started doing the B, right? And you could use this for so and services. And we create a demo as well to show them that this is something how you could use the AI agent for your new service or new vertical. And that's been very helpful for them. And they started thinking on it. So it doesn't always come naturally to your clients that why they would need your product. It's also good to go upfront to them, tell them that, hey, you could use this for this as well. And then you're expanding across. So yeah, AI has been helpful as doing these research works for us that's helped us expand the accounts as well.
You became a certified Scrum Master and brought that into how you deliver. And I know that you are running onboarding like sprints. For a CSM listening who's never run an implementation that way, where would you tell them to start?
For a CSM, it's very important that the account is succeeding, right? For us, what matters is a good and timely implementation so that the time to value is fast enough. Otherwise, if the implementation goes on and on, you've really wasted 3 months of 6 months of the contract period, and now you just have 6 more months to show value. You don't want that. You need as much as time to have the product performing, to have the data for you, speak that success metrics. So it's very important to have a successful implementation so that you have a lot of value period. So for a good successful implementation, you have to first know, like I mentioned, a very good discovery call, know what needs to be solved, your pain points of your customer. Do ask them straight up questions like, what was your life before, say, TARS, and how can I really fix your life with TARS now? So have those direct conversations, ask them your current pain points, and then go to the problem and start solving. And when you actually start the implementation, you face a lot of challenges, right? You can face something like, say, functionally, the product is ready, but the integration related work is not ready. So, because these are two very different things that go hand in hand. Your product is set, but the integrations that happen with your client side, there could be multiple systems you have to integrate with, right? Could be the CRM, could be the many other tools. Now, for so many CRMs, there is a lot of security checks we have to pass. There is a lot of, say, field mapping that needs to be done, stuff like that.
Hmm.
So, if such things are happening where changes are continuously coming in and you're not being able to close the project on time, it's best to go with agile methods. So, I know I'm a Scrum Master, but I'm talking about agile here. It's best to go with agile methods. And say, in my situations, what we've done is we've given 2, 3 options to customers when things start going a little out of the track. We tell them, let's push with the first version out. That this is the best we can do right now. Let's push this out and we'll see how your users are behaving. We'll monitor your user behavior and then take a call of iterating it further. So we understand that you want this, but the version one need not be the best version, right? It should just be solving your main problems, not all your problems. So if your main problem is solved in version one, push it out and then keep iterating changes as and when needs to be. And yeah, I think that's what I would suggest to any CSMs out there. Go with agile method, make impromptu changes if needed, and come up with the best solution that really helps you achieve that would help you deliver the value fastest. So, yeah.
And the last question before we wrap up. You've worked across field sales, operations, CRM implementation, and now enterprise CS. Is there a habit, a way of thinking, or something you learned the hard way early on that still shows up on how you run accounts today?
Okay. I think multiple. Starting off with the first one is as CSMs, we really are the good cop, right? Who your clients trust. And if you know, it's very hard to say no to them on their face if they come up with any requests that are custom solutions. So when you get a lot of requests coming in your way, it's very important for you to understand the reasoning behind the requests that come in. So you don't always have to say yes upfront. If they ask for, say, a feature, understand why they're looking for that feature, do the reasoning behind it, and then decide if you really need that feature out there or not for them. And the second thing I found important is never overcommit, always undercommit and over deliver. So if you say, if the client is rushing you, still tell them it's going to take 3 days, even if you know you can finish it in one day. Tell them 3 days, and when you have done it in one day, tell them it's done in a day and they'll be happy. So always undercommit and over deliver is what I've learned in my few years of practice, that it's good to surprise them in a good way rather than delaying things and telling them it's not going to work. We need more days to figure things out. Yeah, that.
Pratisha, thanks so much for joining me and for taking the time to share your story. And to everyone listening, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning and mastering customer success.
Thank you.